So I don't know if we have time to do one more drawing quickly.
Take your time. Take your time, no problem.
Thank you. One more drawing. In this case, it's a very standard coffee table. Very standard. You see it everywhere. But have we asked ourselves how this beautiful lake was crafted? Now, technically, it has many ways of crafting, but design-wise, if I zoom into this detail, you need to provide the tiniest, smallest curve detail in order to make sure that your design is met. Is it clear? This is R91. This is R32. R36. What's this means? This is the radius we are building.
Part of the circle is. So they have to know that.
It's the radius we are building. This is R7. Of course, this one will come after you design your piece of art. So you design it, you are convinced with it, and then it's the turn to transform it into reality. How? By providing such level of details. I need here 8 millimeter, not 7, not 9, I needed 8, for a particular reason, and we will come to this later. So you need to be this specific in order to get your product with the final shape that you want. Now how we install the top? You see here, this is downward screw, and this is upward screw. Why? There's a reason. And for some cases, just between you, some people who drawn these drawings have got fired.
Why?
They got fired because they don't have the sense of putting the direction of the screw. Now, this is a very simple factor. You might say that it's simple, very simple factor. When you put the screw this way, it's a whole lot story. It's totally wrong. When you put screws this way, it's a matter of direction, no? That makes the big difference in the construction perspective. So, of course, they have not been fired from the first time. It's from second and third and fourth, how many chances. But again, we are talking about common sense. And we are here to learn the easy way, rather than to learn it the hard way. So, each and every drawing of this, I repeat again, I consider it as a piece of art. It consumes so much of work, it is so much detailed, it leaves nothing for coincidence. Everything is described. See the level of description, it's there. 6 millimeter thick, tempered glass. So it's like we call it crystal clear. There's no place for mistake. There's no place for, what if I make it 8 milli? What if I make like 4 milli? I wanted 6 milli for particular reasons. And we'll talk about this later. So your drawing has to be crystal clear of what you really want your product to look like. Now, by this, I think, do we have time for one more? Because I really want to share so many things with you guys, as much as I have time for this. This is Fairmont Fujairah again, the reception counter. I will just share a little detail with you. Let's go with the section of this counter. Might look like very simple, but I'll show you something very nice. This is the standard section in a wood counter. Do anyone of you know why this skirting is a little bit inside the box of the counter. Do anyone of you know why is this?
For the legs, right? For the...
I don't, you know. Just asking. Obviously, the leg is there to be standstill. Doctor, please, get between us. Yeah.
Nobody here.
Nobody here. So, I'll make it quick for you. This piece is slightly inside because the employee here might need to come that close to the counter, and in this case, his fingers might hit the counter. The same reason you will notice if you go home now, kitchens are made this way, for the same reason. And you come here, if there's no space for my fingers, nothing will happen, but I won't feel comfortable. There's no space for my finger toes, you know? Look, if someone had big tummy, there's no issue. He won't reach the counter anyway. But you know, for the slim ladies, you know, everything's okay. When they reach the edge of the counter, there will be a problem with the finger toes. This simple detail, it indicates that you know what you are talking about. That you are thinking of the end user. Look, your end user is the key here. And by the way, this is part of the standard. Part of the PS standard we talk about. Now, in this beautiful counter, you might Google it also, Fairmont Fujairah reception counter. It took us so much work to build these rugs. There's Persian rugs all around. When you see the counter, you see that it's like stacked rugs. Stacked Persian rugs, it's rolls. But actually it's not actual rolls, it's false. So you see the rug only here. And of course, that's between me and you, there's nothing inside. There's wood piece, slight small wood of piece, and we wrapped Persian rug over it. So it will look like Persian rug, but it's not. The end result was stunning. I advise you to visit Fairmont Fujairah. We did so much nice work in there. The design was done by a company called Stickman. You can Google it. Stickman is one of the leading design companies in hospitality business. Stickman. All are my friends there, and they are operating from Dubai, but they are operating all over the world. So by this, I might reach a stage where I can accept your questions, if any, and feel free to ask me anything. From what I know, I will help you. From what I don't know, you know, نصف العلم لا أدري. So I still don't know. I can still learn from you, so no problem.
Doctor, how we can organize the layout of the paper when we submit? Like you put the...
Beautiful. This is beautiful. This is art. This is art. I'm telling you. That's not easy to do.
Yes.
First of all, as I told you, you have to show where you are talking in the key plan. Secondly, you have to show a general section of what you are doing. Basically, this is not only this is not only one drawing for the reception counter. There are about 3 other drawings. But you need to maintain the scale, the proper scale, because most of the papers are printed on A3 size as printable and practical size. But you can print it on bigger sizes. So you need to maintain scale in order to have this information clear for writing, for reading. So it don't have to be too small, and it don't have to be too big. You see the proportions here? We have only 1, 2 sections, and we have one detail here, and we have two more details here, and that's it. If we go back to an ML drawing, you see here, in this drawing, it was mandatory for us to show this much detail. Why? Because the size of the paper, we are allowed to print on A1 size. In Fairmont drawing, that's not the case. So always we prefer to be economic, and we always prefer to print on A3 size for money saving as business, because that's our target, number one. Yeah.
And what about those logos?
Yeah. Okay. This is your car dashboard. In general, first thing as indication you have to know in any drawing is the name of the drawings. The naming of the drawing is like a code. From the name of the drawing, you have to know which project you are talking about, which area from the project you are talking about, which item of that area you are talking about, which detail, which elevation, section, plan, all this is coded into this name, this tiny name. So when you read it, you know where are you talking. And this is very, very essential in large-scale projects. Otherwise, you'll get lost. In Al-Amal Hospital project, we end up with like 700 drawings for our scope of work. 700 drawings. Imagine looking into this drawing.
No one.
Yeah, it will dry up, It will dry up. While with the code, well, this is my drawing. Without even looking at it. If it's saved as soft copy, you put the code, there you go, you got the drawings. In this drawing, you might mention, for example, this is the client's name. Who's the owner of this project? It's the Ministry of Health. Like, who's the main contractor who did this drawing? It's China State, one of the biggest construction moguls around the world. It's not even tycoon, it's mogul. It's mega size company. That's basically the government of China is behind the China State.